It's Brainstormed, and in just my third game of online versus in the NHL 19 beta, we got this guy who position locked himself as a goalie. This meant that I'm going to be playing against the AI skaters, and we're going to get our first look at how the AI play on their own. This is going to be a full game post commentary. We're going to talk about what we saw last year, what we're seeing in this game, how things have changed, and my opinion of it all. Last year, if you guys played against the All-Star AI or Superstar AI, or even against someone who position lock, you would remember that the AIs were absolutely disgusting. They would cheat up and down the ice with their passes, with their shots, their cycles. It was impossible to get by their defense. Well, for most of us anyway. AIs taking penalties on some of the harder difficulties, yeah, that didn't really happen. They really had one of the hardest AIs in recent memory compared to some of the other NHL games that we've seen over the years. Personally, I welcome the challenge, but other people certainly didn't feel the same way. So the first thing that I noticed against this AI in NHL 19 is the difficulty of face-offs have not been changed. Usually the idea is if your opponent lines up on the forehand, you should go for a stick lift. On the backhand, you should go for a tie-up. And then from there, you'll learn how often your opponent goes for the stick lift or the tie-up, and then you'll counter that. Last year, the AIs would also kind of cheat on the face-offs, where you would counter their face-off move, but they would still end up winning, which was quite shocking, honestly. I didn't test that part too much, but something that I did test was the AI was once again really weak against the backhand face-off move. Now, I don't know if that's because they stick lift more than anything, but by the end of the game, you'll see that I won most of my face-offs, and a lot of it started to come maybe by the second period where all I would do is go backhand. Now, I want to rewind this gameplay for a minute and talk about a little move that I taught last year in the secret to completing HUT challenges. It's this little trick where as you enter the offensive zone, what you do is you pull back on your right stick as if you were taking a slap shot. You're going to fake it, and it allows you to skate right by the AI. It was one of the best things that you could do last year, and I did it in the beta to see what's expected this year. The slow trick pretty much allowed you to get by any kind of AI defense. It didn't have to be a full-blown AI team. It didn't have to be a position locker. It could have been someone who doesn't control their defense and back checks instead. It could be an EA Sports Hockey League where there's like 2 forwards, 1 defenseman in three-shell, or a group of 2 or 3 forwards, and then they have AI defensemen in 6s. It was very, very useful in a lot of situations, like I said. Oftentimes, it would just lead to you and the goalie getting a breakaway or just getting any kind of high-scoring opportunity. I did it a number of times throughout this game. The first thing that I noticed is when you pull back, try to fake that shot, your player is going to lose the puck much easier than before. Whether he overskates or the puck drifts away too far away from him, or it's puck pickups or something of that nature, you're not always going to keep the puck when doing that, which is kind of like what happens when you do a deke. The second thing is, if it does work, just because of the skating system that has been implemented in NHL 19, your player may not get that huge burst of speed when he picks up the puck immediately after. So while it does freeze the AIs, you might still struggle to get by them. If you do get by them, you might not get as much room as you did last year, but otherwise, outside of that, it works. My first goal gets scored here against the player goalie. It's a deflection from the point, followed by a rebound, which rebounds are very dangerous against player goalies. You don't want to shoot in the usual places, like top corner, like you do against the AIs, because the player goalies seem to always get those. Player goalies are usually weak against rebounds and wraparounds. So enough about the super cheesy, tricky AI maneuver there. So over the course of this game, I learned that it was still pretty easy to enter the offensive zone when the AIs were controlling all the skaters. but when you try to cycle the puck around, that's when they were at their most aggressive, and it seemed like they were gonna take the puck away from you no matter what. Since this was my third game, I was still learning about the poke checks and the tripping, so I might get a lot of penalties this game. Don't look into that too much. I've learned my mistakes and my lessons since this game. While this game is solely against the AI skaters, in my video of my first impressions of the NHL 19 beta, I talked about the AI skaters when your opponent is not position locking. But a quick summary of that would be the AI won't do as much of the work for you as they did last year, but they'll still be in the right positions for you to take control of them and then do what they did last year to make the defensive play. So now I want to slow down the zone entry by the AI and look at the AI's passing. They start off with some nice passes, but they don't look as superhuman as they did last year. It's just some basic passes to the point, across, to the corner of the circle, and then he's going to give up the puck to me. That hardly, if ever, happened last year. The AI would just not give away the puck to you that easily. It happened many times throughout this game, so I don't think people are going to complain about the AI's passing in NHL 19. Last year, I remember when the AI cycled the puck in your zone, it was kind of like a pinball machine. You'd have no idea what's going on as it just went back and forth, and you just tried and did your best to keep up with it. You just prayed that they took a shot from a bad angle so that it would just be over with. Here, AI on AI action as my AI makes a great defensive play to stop that pass. Overall, it felt like cycling the puck against them was the hardest thing to do. They were all over all of my players. The human skaters would usually get off of a player to try to pressure you, and that meant that you could pass it to that player that they got off of, and it would just continue like that until you get a good scoring opportunity. AIs didn't seem to be the case like that. Now we're going to slow it down here again because this is something that the AIs are flawless on. Last year we went over its passing. This year is taking the puck away from you without getting penalties with stick lifts or stick checks. It's unbelievable. Every time you'd get next to them, you'd hear this annoying sound. And that's when you know you lost the puck. No ifs, ands, or buts. The puck is no longer on your stick. Good luck with the rest of your life. And that sound just happens so often because those AIs, they're just so accurate with those stick lifts. They know what the meta is. The meta is to not use the poke check. I mean, they still use it sometimes, like we do, but a lot of stick lifts. Okay, I thought I was going to do a fancy little spin to get by this AI. No, that's not going to happen. Aiming top corner on a player goalie. Nope, that's a stupid idea. Except he gave the puck right back to me, giving me goal number 2. But at this point, it doesn't even matter. I already have goal number 1, so what difference does it make if the AI can't score on me? But yeah, another example of how their passes just aren't great. Well, first they're going to have to take the puck away from me like they do here, and then again right here. But a case like this, before I could take the puck away from them, they would just immediately do another pass to get to an open man that's nowhere near any of my players, and they don't do that anymore. We're not out here playing against a supercomputer anymore. Here I was struggling a little bit against them, but it's a 5-on-3, so it kind of makes sense. The one thing that I was impressed about with this AI, not the interceptions, those weren't that great of passes, but just the way that they passed behind the net where it bounced off the boards. Alright, that was still supercomputer-like, but not enough to sway my decision in that direction. Alright, now defensively. So now when I'm on defense and the computer is entering my zone, I thought that's where the AIs were most predictable. That is their biggest disadvantage, and that's where I always seem like I got them. And that's how I ended up getting more shots than they did, because they were hardly ever in my zone unless they were on the power play, which made this little move against them a little bit hard to do. I'm going to get an example here in a little bit, but the idea is the computer's trying to enter my zone, and I pretty much just set up along the blue line. I don't do like an 0-5 setup, but I did follow the AI along the blue line just so that I was directly below them the whole time. And every single time, the AI would dump the puck and then just retreat. This meant that my defensemen that are furthest back could go get the puck, and the puck would be in my possession. It would be a turnover. Sometimes the AI would dump and chase, but my players were faster. It's like the AI's game plan didn't center around dump and chase, and just one of the AIs decided, hey, you know what, that's just what I'm going to do. You know, it's like they weren't ready for it. Stopping the AI cycle felt a lot like I was playing against a human opponent, where I was just trying to stop them from getting to the most dangerous areas of the ice. Eventually, it seemed like the AI was going to get tired or bored and take the shot from a bad angle, or right here, they're going to try to take a shot, but my player in the slot was ready to defend that. I did mention in my first impressions video that this year, the rate of garbage goals seemed to have gone drastically down, which meant your opponents won't score from bad angles as much as they did last year, and the same could be said about the AIs, where, you know, they're going to try to take shots from bad angles, and they're not going to go in as often. Last year, everyone would get upset about that playing against the AIs. AIs just scoring just a magical goal from nowhere. AIs just knew it was going in, whereas the player playing defense was like, there's no way in hell that's going in, and it goes in anyway. I know it's kind of a small sample size, just based on the games against other players I've had against this AI here. I'm not saying it's not going to happen anymore, but I am saying that it does seem like it's going to happen less often. Unless, of course, they tweak the AIs again before release and decide to just go back to last year's settings or something. Beta is just their little experiment where they can try something new settings like every poke check is a penalty, see what people think, and then change their mind. So if my opponent did end up entering my zone, I would still try to force them along the boards like I did there, and they just didn't seem to want to pass it or center it or just get rid of it so that I don't take it away from them. Here, a normal human probably would have got a breakaway, but he's going much slower than normal, and he takes a really bad shot. I make some bad passes, which I'm okay with, but look at the stick lift. He gets it right back because of the stick lift, and then another bad angle shot. Last year's AI probably would have done that quick one-timer cross crease. Easy goal for the AI. AI here just didn't feel like doing that, apparently. Something that I hated about my AIs is how often they wanted to go offside. I'm not dumping that puck. I don't know what leads you to believe that I'm going to dump that puck, especially since I set the slider to always carry it in, but they just want to go offside. Maybe they're sending me a message and telling me to slow down. Don't just jump right into the offensive zone. So those are pretty much the things that I noticed coming out of the AI in the NHL 19 beta. Opinions-wise, again, we already talked about how I would want the AI to not stick lift like gods whenever we have the puck. It shouldn't be as successful as it is. They should definitely get a lot more penalties than they currently get. On the all-star difficulty, the AI seems manageable. It's the kind of difficulty where as long as you're playing smart, in position in the right places, I don't think that you should have much trouble against the AI. So the difficulty is set just right in that case, and I don't think a lot of people will really rage against position lockers this year as they did last year, unless you struggle against scoring on a human goalie or even an AI goalie if I guess they're position locking as a right wing or a left wing. Then you just need to focus on shutting down like the human player who might be cherry picking trying to get easy breakaways or easy goals. I know that a lot of you still don't want to play against just the computers or someone position locking, so that's still understandable, but I wouldn't avoid it like the plague like you did before. Now I'm going to fast forward to my example that I told you guys where the AI dumps the puck as you're pressuring him along the boards for zone entry. In this case, the AI did check me for the forecheck, but it's just a simple pass behind your net, and I'm able to get it out without too much problems. The AI's back check was a little bit ridiculous because, again, with the cycles, if you're holding on to the puck, you're not doing just a quick move off the rush. The AI is going to come back and shut you down pretty well, and I do think that that's how it should stay. Either way, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the video and the breakdown against these all-star AIs that I played against. Be sure to leave your thoughts on these AIs if you think they're too strong, too overpowered, or too weak, or too underpowered, or just any kind of changes that you think that EA should make to them so that the experience against the AI could be a little bit more enjoyable. Enjoy the rest of the game and the stat screen, and I'll see you guys in another NHL 19 video.
Use that stick like a magic wand. Got that pass near the blue line and now looks ahead. Couldn't make it through, can't retain possession. Throws it to Erickson. Outstanding save by Quick. Pass attempt to Doughty. Two players came to the boards. Boom.
He was looking to finish his check, and he lines up his man right up against the boards.
Detroit's looking to head man up the wing. Terrific determination by Doughty. To Green. Detroit skating in their own end, trying to get to the neutral zone. To the point it comes. Picked up. Puts one on. And a save. Now it's directed to Doughty. Good work up front on that hit. Scooped up by Daly. Last minute to go in the third. Brings a shot. Wonderful work in close and a brilliant save. Score! And they take that neutral zone face-off. That puck is loose after good defensive play.
Time of the goal, 19 minutes, 11 seconds.
Looks ahead to start something. He banks a pass ahead.
Hey, safety never sleeps, boys. It looked like he was going to try and pass this right through his own goal crease, but he banked it off the boards to his partner.
Can't get it on net.
That's a tough one to watch. Need to practice hitting the net.
And that pass leaves the zone. And so out they go to regroup. Detroit's in their own end, hoping to make a play to center. Waffle boarded. Important interception there. The clock is at zeros. The game is over.